November 14th, 2019. Location: Blackwood Forest Reserve. A 19-year-old college student who had not returned home after 6 p.m. Her last location was traced near an old bus stop at the edge of the forest. It was 11 p.m. when our search operation began. The forest was so dense that even the beam of our flashlights could not cut through the fog. I separated slightly from the team and moved onto an old dirt trail. My body camera was mounted on my shoulder, its faint blinking red light reminding me that everything was being recorded. The silence was so deep that I could hear my own breathing. Suddenly, the beam of my flashlight fell on something white, about 50 meters away. A girl was standing there. She was wearing an oversized white hoodie. Her face was turned toward the forest. My heartbeat quickened. I thought the case was solved. I shouted loudly, "Come here, don't be afraid. We are here to take you home." She slowly turned her neck, like an old machine rotating. I thought maybe she was in shock. I called out again, but without saying a single word, she began walking toward the dense bushes of the forest. I ran after her. "Stop! It's dangerous ahead," I kept shouting. I noticed that the girl was moving very fast, without making any sound, through the bushes. After going about 200 meters inside, she turned behind a large banyan tree. When I reached that tree, there was no one there. I flashed my light around. The ground was covered with rotten leaves, but there were no footprints. I called my team on the radio. The entire area was sealed off. Dogs were brought in, but there was no sign of that girl. The next morning, exhausted, I reached the station. My senior asked to review the footage so that we could see which direction she had gone. When the video played, the entire room went cold. In the video, my voice was clearly audible. "Come here." The camera light was pointing exactly where I had seen her, but the frames were completely empty. There was no girl there, no white hoodie. In the footage, I was alone in the forest, running, talking to trees, and looking into places where there was nothing but darkness. One of my senior officers, who had been posted in that area for 20 years, watched the footage and, without saying a word, pulled out an old, dust-covered file. 5 years earlier, on the exact same date, another 19-year-old girl had disappeared from that very spot. She was also wearing a white hoodie. Her case was never closed because her body was never found. Even today, when I watch that body camera footage, I cannot understand who I was talking to. But one thing is certain, that girl was not alone that night, and perhaps she is still wandering there, somewhere in the forest. It is said that after death, spirits do not want to leave their old homes. But what if those spirits ask the living for help? This story is from 2021. A house that had been locked for 6 months, where no human lived. From there, the police received an emergency call. The date was November 14th, 2021. It was exactly 3:04 a.m. I was just about to finish my shift at the police station when the emergency dispatch phone rang. I picked up the receiver. There was no human speaking on the other side, only the sound of heavy, frightened breathing. As if someone was extremely scared and trying to ask for help. "Hello? Hello? Who is speaking?" I asked several times, but there was no response. I immediately ordered the call to be traced. As soon as the location came in, the hair on my arms stood up. The call had come from an old bungalow located on the outskirts of the city. And the strangest part, that bungalow had been locked for the past 6 months. Its owner had passed away, and the house was sealed. I immediately drove to the location. The place was truly terrifying. Tall grass and thick dust surrounded the house, making it clear that no one lived there. A thick, old iron chain hung on the main gate, covered in rust. But when I shined my flashlight toward the upper floor window of the house, my heart jumped into my throat. Inside that locked house, in one of the rooms, A faint light was on. I knocked on the gate. Opened the door. Silence. No response. Just then, a voice came through the wireless from dispatch. Sir, the call is still active. The heavy breathing is still coming through. I understood that the matter was very serious. I called for backup. When the team arrived, we broke the iron chain in the lock. As soon as we entered the house, a strange, damp and rotten smell hit us. In the beam of our flashlights, we could see white sheets covering the furniture, with a thick layer of dust settled on them. The electricity connection had been cut off 6 months earlier. Then, where was that light coming from? We slowly climbed the stairs. The light was coming from that bedroom. As we reached the bedroom door, the faint light grew stronger. Suddenly, from inside the room, a soft, trembling voice came. Help me. My partner looked at me, and I used all my strength to kick the bedroom door open. The room was empty. There was no one there, no human, no ghost. In the middle of the room, on a dust-covered bed, an old landline phone was lying there. The receiver was hanging down, and a faint toon sound was coming from it. The call was still connected. Dispatch shouted, Sir, the call is still active. Where are you? I picked up the landline receiver. It was working. But the house connection had been cut by the electricity department 6 months earlier. Without electricity, how could a landline phone be working? After that night, I understood that some things are bigger than science. What was in that house, who made that call, remains a mystery even today. Since that day, I have never taken any silent call lightly. Do you believe in such unsolved stories? Be sure to share your opinion in the comments. The year was 2018. It was 2:17 a.m. I, along with my partner, Head Constable Suresh, were patrolling in our police jeep in a deserted area of the old city. That area was the oldest part of the city. The buildings there were 40 to 50 years old, large cracks, piles of debris, and an eerie silence hanging over them. There was a strange coldness in the air itself, the kind that seeps into your bones. Suddenly, a strange, distorted voice echoed through our control room wireless set. PCR Van 4, PCR Van 4, situation, immediate. In the lane behind Old Market, at Aurora Apartments, a 7-year-old child is standing on the balcony of the 3rd floor. He is screaming loudly and trying to jump down. Over, Suresh and I looked at each other. There was confusion on our faces. We knew that area very well. I picked up the wireless, control room, PCR Van 4. Confirmation required. Aurora Apartments is only 2 floors. There is no 3rd floor there. Over. The control room responded immediately. Sir, the caller is very frightened. He is insisting that the child is on the 3rd floor. Reach the location immediately. Over. We drove our jeep there quickly. The streets were silent. No dogs barking. No birds. When we reached the building, the sight was truly strange. It was indeed a 2-story old building. On the ground floor, there was an old closed warehouse, and on the 1st floor, a house with its lights off. The main gate of the building was iron, half open, as if someone had just entered. Suresh said, Sir, if there is no 3rd floor, then where is the child screaming from? There was a strange smell inside, like the damp odor of a room that has been locked for years. We began climbing the stairs. The stairs were so old that the sound of our boots echoed throughout the entire building. The 1st floor door was closed. We reached the 2nd floor. Silence there too. But above the 2nd floor, there was no balcony, no door, only a concrete slab that led to the roof. Just then, the wireless crackled again. PCR 4, the caller says the child is still standing above. Hurry. The hair on my arm stood up. I pointed my flashlight beam directly towards the roof. In the beam of the flashlight, on the concrete surface, I saw small children's footprints, fresh footprints, as if someone had just walked there. But there was no balcony, no railing. If a child was standing there, he would have been on a straight edge of the wall or the roof. Suresh stepped back in fear. Sir, something is wrong here. I gathered courage and arranged for a long ladder from outside the building. With trembling hands, I began climbing the ladder. The wind was so strong that it felt like I could fall any moment. The cold was so intense that my hands were going numb holding the flashlight. I reached the roof. I moved my flashlight around. There was no one there. Then, at the extreme corner of the roof, right at the edge from where someone could jump, I saw something shining. It was a small plastic toy car, completely new, a bright red car. Not a single particle of dust on it, as if someone had just placed it there. My throat went dry. I climbed down. Suresh and I woke up the residents of the building. We woke the owner on the first floor, questioned the nearby houses, but no one had a child in their home. No one had heard any screaming. That building had been half empty for years. We sat back in our jeep. I was still thinking about that toy car. Just then, a call came from the control room. PCR 4. Sir, there is something strange. We traced the number from which the call came. That number does not exist. That number has been inactive for the past 5 years over. After that night, I never turned back to look at that building, nor did I ever patrol that area alone again. Who was that child? Whose toy car was that? And who made that call? That mystery remains an unsolved puzzle for me even today. So, here are 3 disturbing true police horror stories. If you imagine these moments in your mind, you will understand that police calls in real life can be quite unpredictable and scary. Which story disturbed you the most? Let us know in the comments. And yes, if you liked this video, please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell